In this video, we're going to explore the snippet element. The snippet element is like an extension of items that builds dynamic lists. These can be flex layouts, tabs, sliders, etc. So we know that we can display dynamic content using these structures or dynamic lists using the detail pages collection screens. However, there are a lot of situations where it would be very useful to be able to show this same content without needing to live within these structures. The snippet item solves this problem. So when we need to create an overlay, a pop-up, etc., it's really easy to use snippets. For this video, we're going to create an overlay just like this. When I click on this icon, an overlay opens. This overlay contains the snippet that has an element that pulls information from the same place as this element here underneath on the flex layout pulls from. Both are linked to the same attribute within the same collection. A connection has to be established between the snippet item and the dynamic flex layout, and this is what we're going to learn how to do in this video. So to do this, I'm going to get out of here and we're going to use this element that hasn't been finished yet to test this. We're going to learn how to make the connection between the snippet and the source that will feed it. So I'm going to come out of the preview mode, and what we need to have in our layout is a dynamic flex layout. In this case, we have a dynamic list of the photo album collection. We also need a snippet. In this case, I'm going to use this element here. We've used it before in other videos, and we can find it here in the UI objects in the miscellaneous area. Okay, so here it is. Now we just need to place it in the layout. You need to pay attention to this element here. This structure has two states. Its default state isn't visible as it has 0 opacity, and in its open state it is visible. So if we want to see it, we can place it like this, and we can see it fully. I'm going to leave it like this. So we're going to select the snippet item, and we're going to establish a connection between this element and the source. I'm going to go to the data panel, and in this drop-down, we can select which dynamic list is going to feed this element. In this case, it's going to be this list here. This vertical element has the same name as the list that can be found behind the flex layout. Now that we have made this connection, we combine this element here that can be found inside the snippet to this snippet content with the attributes from the photo album collection. So now that the connection has been made, we're going to come here to the data panel, to dynamic data and style, to get a background image from the photo album, and we're going to select the attribute that we're after. In this case, it's called photo 1. There are 3 images, but the one we're after is photo 1. In this case, an image has automatically appeared, as this is the first image within the collection, but it's not the image that we're after. So the image we want to show is this one here, and along with needing to establish a connection of this snippet item with the source, we also need to create a connection between this element and with this attribute. We need a link that will indicate which item the content is going to show here. So I want to click on this image and see the corresponding content, the entry that is linked to this image. In this case, it's going to be an image, but it could have other fields. It could have a description or other fields. We need to make sure that when we click here, we see this entry's content. So to do this, I'm going to place this overlay snippet in its default state. I'm going to come here to the view panel, and I'm going to select the default state. I'm going to come here to our element, and I'm going to click hover element visible, as it is currently not in default and is also not visible. It has a value of 0 for its opacity, so I'm going to click hover state. I'm not going to select this element here. As we have seen in the other video, this element has a trigger that alters the state of this overlay snippet 1 to open the menu, and it also is going to contain a link for the snippet item. So this link is going to let the snippet item know what information needs to be shown. It's going to be relative to the entry that contains this same image. Now I'm going to come here to the data panel. Here in the link area, I'm going to select what detail we want. in this case, what snippet we want. So the snippet we're after in this case is snippet item 1, so it has been selected. Now I'm going to enter preview mode, and this is now complete. So as you can see, it's very easy to use snippets when we want to display dynamic content outside of dynamic lists.